speaking of good stuff, there's an organization here in the United States. It's just been rocking it. And very, very well, great reputation, called Prospect Wire. Brian Werner is with us from Prospect Wire. Talk a little bit, again, I'm going to go back to a governing, organizing body. And, you know, Brian, you have such a good reputation. And there's, throughout the United States, and, you know, we deal both nationally and domestically and internationally. Be hard pressed to come up with another organization that has the reputation that Prospect Wire does.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me here today. I appreciate the chance to talk.
How did you get involved with Prospect Wire? I mean, tell us a little bit about your background.
We'll see if I can do it real quick. So I played ball, growing up, played ball through college, went to Clemson and USF and everything. When I was done, got involved with the New York Yankees as a scout. Ended up working in baseball operations. When I finally decided to leave the professional baseball world, because it's a little bit of a grind, kind of got away from baseball a little bit, did some coaching, and a friend of mine that I grew up with, Matt Beaumeisel, had started Prospect Wire back in 2004 just as a small showcase company. Did one event in 2004, another in 2005, and then in 2008 we ran a very big showcase, and I kind of was talking to him at the time. We got back in touch, and he asked if I wanted to come scout for him and everything at the event. Ended up being one of our probably most talent-driven events. Guys like Nick Castellanos and Scooter Gennett were there, and both former big leaguers, and it just kind of took off from there. And then in 2010, we ran our first large-scale fall tournament, actually right here at Lake Myrtle. And Matt was the tournament director at the time, and it kind of got overwhelming for him to run the company and do the tournaments at the same time. So we'll just say, kind of sort of got hung up a little bit and asked for some help, and I've been doing it ever since. In 2019, we have expanded since. Obviously, we're outside of Florida now. In 2016, we went out to California. Back in 2012, we went to Arizona. We've done events in Virginia and Texas and other places, and we'll be expanding in the future. But in 2019, Matt sold the company to DS Sports, which is based out of now Lake Mary. They just moved over to the Lake Mary area. And their main thing is a system called Baseball Cloud, which is sort of in a roundabout way like iCloud for the iPhone. It's a one-stop shop storage facility for all technology in baseball, be it Yakkertech, TrackMan, Flight Scope, be it a Stalker radar gun or whatnot. So Matt sold the company to DS Sports, and since his left, has moved on to do other things. And DS Sports promoted me 2 years ago to the president of the company. So now it's under my tutelage, I guess. And since then, we have kind of learned to blend the world of technology that DS Sports has, because one of their main companies is Yakkertech, which is probably the up and coming data capture for the collegiate level and everything, and for the high school level. So we're trying to learn to incorporate that and bring that to our events so that kids have a great chance and an opportunity to get recruited even more.
Well, at risk of jumping on top of Gerald here, the analytics side of baseball has really become a big business.
Yes, it has.
You know, or a sub-segment of baseball, whether it's professionals or amateurs. I mean, the foresight to pull that data together in the company, I mean, that's really, really impressive. And for, you know, people that don't know a whole lot about baseball, tell us a little bit about the importance of that and who some of your customers might be.
Well, we have, and I apologize, I don't know the exact number. It's over 100 colleges that we contract with around the country and everything, that have access to the Baseball Cloud system and everything, that have Yakkertech set up. And in a nutshell, what Yakkertech basically does, it's visualized. It's cameras that are shooting infrared sensors, lasers into a pitcher's, basically into his glove, and it produces a 3D image of what the baseball would look like. So when he is throwing it, a pitcher is throwing it, or a hitter's hitting, they can actually see what the swing path looks like in a 3D image. It can see the ball path. It actually can show pressure points on pitcher's fingers. So let's say a pitcher, for example, was putting 60% of their pressure on their middle finger for their curveball. This can help show them, well, maybe if they put just a little bit more, they can get a little extra spin rate out of it, and it kind of shows them, you know, the path and the plane. And a lot of it is way above my understanding of how it all actually does work. But basically what these kids do is when they perform under the Yakkertech system, it all goes into Baseball Cloud, and Baseball Cloud, the colleges are able to pull almost sort of like a Match.com, for lack of a better way to describe it. The colleges set up profiles on what they're looking for in their recruiting classes, and Baseball Cloud can go, here's a list of all those kids that fit those metrics that you're looking for. So it helps to simplify recruiting.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
And you get it here right on Sports Central. And that's a deep dive, well, sort of a deep dive, into the inner workings of the industry of baseball. And it's such a big industry. We knew it was going there. And everybody's talking about the analytics and football and baseball and all this. So
it's very scary. Real quick, I'll tell you, at our All-American event this past August, we had a chance to see one of the newer versions that's going to be coming out. It is so accurate that it can call balls and strikes roughly about 40 feet before the ball gets to home plate, just using the release point, the spin rate, the velocity coming off of a pitcher's fingers, probably at about 98 to 99% accuracy.
Wow. Whew. Goodness, that's impressive. Well, a little bit of the reason you're in town, obviously you got an event this weekend here at Lake Myrtle, the Winter Classic. Just talk a little bit about that event, what's going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday about about the event, and then what is it that makes Polk County lucrative for you guys to come and do your events here when you're doing them all throughout the state of Florida, California, everywhere else that you do them. So just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Tonight we have, this weekend we have an event called the Winter Classic and everything. It is our final event for the year, for our calendar year. We have a showcase workout tonight for the kids that are in the event, have a chance to come out and get their metrics tested and just kind of updated heading into spring and everything to see where they stand going into their spring seasons. The tournament takes place on Saturday and Sunday. It's a 3-game guarantee with like a single elimination playoff on Sunday for the teams and everything. But basically, it's just a good chance to get out and play some baseball before the year ends and everyone shuts it down. We love coming to Polk County. One of my favorite places to run events. Number one, Lake Myrtle, to find 9 quality fields of that nature that are better than some college fields around the country. In one location is gold for a company like us. Now we have Northeast Regional Park that we get a chance to use. We use that for 3 events in the spring. And then as well as hopefully next year with Chain of Lakes coming back online with their new 4-field complex. But to have that many fields in one location, centrally located, it's easy to get to Tampa for parents that come into town. It's easy to get obviously to Orlando to go visit Disney, and it's kind of a unknown destination city that many teams when they come in realize that it's just a great place to play, and the facilities are top notch.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good stuff. And being part of Rob's empire now is really what it is. I'm going to ask you to define something because we've got like 30 seconds. A lot of people talk about the showcases. And for those that are not familiar with baseball or some of the intricacies, the analytics is one thing, but a showcase, tell us about that. What's the purpose of a showcase?
Well, when it's done correctly, the purpose of a showcase is to help the player understand where their metrics are. And one thing that Baseball Cloud and Yakkertech can do is it produces a report that shows them where they rank with the kids that are currently in the showcase that they're in, as well as kids around the country of their age group. So it can break it down by region, it can break it down by the schools that they're interested in, and show them where they are in that pod and everything. So a parent can know and understand, well, maybe my kid is not D1 University of Miami or University of Florida level, but his metrics match up to maybe a North Florida or maybe a Georgia Southern or somewhere that maybe not high-end D1, but is still obviously a competitive place to play, and that's what showcases can do.
Interesting. You combine all of that type of stuff, and then the tournaments where the rubber really hits the road, or the pitching mound, if you will. And this is fascinating. Baseball is getting more fascinating, and I think it really has become more of a draw. It's brought more people back in, and I think that's really a good thing. Prospect Wire, Brian Werner, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.